What's up everyone, it's Jimmy for Star Wars on High today. So Josh and I were discussing some of the videos we wanted to make, and we decided we should do some videos on some of the mysteries of Star Wars. Some of the more creepy stories that we don't get a lot of information on, and I figured what better way to start this off than with my favorite Sith Lord, Darth Nihilus. Darth Nihilus was a Sith Lord during the time of the Old Republic. He's best known as one of the main antagonists in the video game Knights of the Old Republic 2, where he was shown as a man hidden behind a mask who spoke in a very odd language. He was also potentially capable of destroying the entire universe, and we'll get into why all of this was. When he was a man, Nihilus had a very rough life. He had lost everything he had and everyone he knew in the war between the Mandalorian Neo-Crusaders and the Galactic Republic. And he happened to find himself on the planet of Malachor 5 where the final battle took place. During the battle, the Republic activated a super weapon known as the Mass Shadow Generator, killing almost everyone on the planet's surface and in nearby orbit, and as a result the planet was left in ruin. Nihilus was one of the few to survive, but the after effects of the super weapon changed him into less of a man. A strange illness came upon him due to the effects of the shadows, which also resulted in intense hunger. And one day, without realizing what he was doing, he drained the life force from another survivor, killing them instantly. While he was disturbed by this action, he realized that by doing this, all of the pain and sadness left his body along with the illness, but only for a short time. And the more he fed on the Force, the shorter the bliss would last, and the more his hunger would grow. By the time we see him in Knights of the Old Republic 2, he's wrapped head to toe in robes and wears a mask. This was the only way he could maintain a physical human form. He was so absorbed with the dark side of the Force that his body began to wither away, and once he realized that he may die from this power, he ripped his spirit from his body and encased it in his robes and mask, giving him the look of a physical man as the Force ate away at his body. To most, including myself, Nihilus was pretty much a ghost and was described as a wound in the Force. However, he is better described as a black hole. Darth Nihilus's goal was to devour everything, and every time he took in life force energy, he grew stronger. His master Darth Traya was even worried about this, and their chances of defeating him, for at some point he would eventually become so strong that nothing would stop him and the entire universe would die. On top of this, Nihilus's hunger for the Force and his intentions weren't even his own. The powerful bond with the Force is what drove him, and the Force was basically using Nihilus's body as a vessel to gain access to Force life energy. If he consumed too much of it, the power would eventually engulf his own body. Now, if that's not scary enough, we can go into the language he spoke. In-game, there are only a few times where we get to hear Nihilus speak. Sadly though, he speaks in a language we don't understand and no subtitles are given. We do know though that he is speaking in the ancient language of the Sith, and it's simply terrifying to listen to. Taking it all into consideration, the black hole, the robes, and now this voice, it sounds completely like an ancient evil spirit, and it's horrifying. Now, of course, all of this power does not make him completely unstoppable, as he never reaches that point. From what we know, the only surefire way to stop Nihilus was with someone who was also a wound in the Force. Nihilus's defeat came at the hands of Jedi exile Mitra Surik. Nihilus had attempted to take Surik's life force, but Surik, being a wound in the Force, weakened Nihilus just enough for him to be defeated. Surik fought against Nihilus with his former apprentice, Visas Mar. After his defeat, Mara wanted to remove his mask and see the man who had caused her so much harm. Nihilus's body exploded into a red storm of Force energy, and his robes deflated to the ground. What's worse about this is that this technically did not kill Nihilus. His spirit was trapped inside his robes and mask, which were returned to Korriban. That isn't the end of the story just yet. There is a little more. If we jump ahead in the timeline about 4,200 years to the Legacy era, during this new time in the galaxy, we meet Darth Krayt as he makes his way to Korriban in search of advice on how to remove the Yuuzhan Vong creature creatures that were consuming his body. While on Korriban, he found 3 holocrons belonging to Darth Undendu, Darth Bane, and Darth Nihilus. But when Krayt asked the questions, only Nihilus responded. Krayt, of course, was not able to understand what he was saying, but it leads you to wonder, what knowledge did Nihilus have on this subject, and did he know anything about the Yuuzhan Vong? Unfortunately, we may not get an answer to that, but that's where the story of Nihilus stops. Overall, Darth Nihilus is my favorite Sith Lord, and I would love to see the character brought into canon. There's just so much they could choose to do with this character. But what are your thoughts? Tell us what you think of Darth Nihilus in the comments below, and let us know if you like this idea of discussing mysteries in the Star Wars galaxy. As always, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.